Streaming live, this is News 12 Now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandria Savage for News 12 Now, and today is another day of Mental Health Awareness Month. We are talking about how to help veterans, their families, as well as first responders, and we are bringing in Miss Brandy Lee Baker with the Code 9 Project. Thank you so much for joining us, Brandy Lee.
It's an honor to be here, Alexandria. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's jump right in. So tell me a little bit about the Code 9 Project, the basics of it, how you all work to further your mission and educate folks.
So we're a national nonprofit comprised of active duty and former military, law enforcement, and first responders. And our mission is to educate, advocate, and train for the prevention of PTSD and suicide. And that is through our nationally accredited SHARE programs, our trademarked TOUGH peer support program. We build peer support teams for departments, as well as our national critical incident response team. And we have a specialized unit that responds to very specialized critical incidents. Those specifically are interdepartmental suicides, which are happening far too often, as well as mass shootings and major natural disasters.
And on the heels of Memorial Day, I think this is especially a hard topic to discuss, but what are some of the methods you use to educate folks about mental health? Because I know there's often a stigma attached, with different generations or different cultures. So how do you break through that?
Well, I'm happy that we're having this discussion, because in our organization, this isn't a difficult topic. It's a necessary topic to discuss. Today is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're stepping into June, which is PTSD Awareness Month. And these topics are essential to educate the public. To begin with, in 2019, it was reported that the PTSD rate among veterans was 75%. Now, one would think that that would start to trend down as we discuss things, and we're having organizations like ourselves providing trainings and whatnot, but it's not happening enough. And it went up to almost 83% in 2020. Now, the average PTSD rate of first responders is 30%. These percentages are much too high. So our organizations provide 2-day leadership wellness intensives for our commanders in both the military, law enforcement, and first response, a frontline course that's 2 days, and then we offer a family course that's 1 day. That is our SHARE program. And this is basically encompassing an education of our nervous systems, how stress, basically how our bodies respond, and why it's important to have a comprehensive understanding of this sort of thing when you enter into stress careers. And the military and first response are stress careers. So families also need to have a more comprehensive understanding of our nervous systems, so that the signs, the symptoms, and even the family dynamic can be framed in a way that is healthy and supportive for our first responders and our military, as well as our family members.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the signs family members should look out for? Because I feel like with different, with different things you're facing, different mental health issues, PTSD, different variations of things, the symptoms can be very different, but I'm sure there are some similarities.
Absolutely. So stress overwhelm shows up, or resiliency breakdown shows up in 4 major ways: physically, behaviorally, cognitively, and emotionally. So some examples of that are nightmares, loss of interest in activities, increase in illnesses or allergies, anxiety, feeling on edge, easily startled, sleep disturbances, high blood pressure, substance use. There is a complexity of symptoms that can show up.
Absolutely. So I know you said there's not a stigma. What are some of your tactics? I know you kind of went into it a little bit, but what are some of the things you say to first responders or military personnel, veterans that may be reaching out and kind of concerned about how to go about this big, scary thing?
Well, to begin with, there is a stigma in the world, right? Just in general, we keep our struggles to ourselves. And instead of understanding we're all human beings with nervous systems, and they become dysregulated actually quite easily. So to normalize that is the biggest part of our organization. As I stated, we're comprised of peers. So that concept, you're not alone, we've walked the walk and talked the talk, bridges that gap to a large extent, in that we have a diverse team that comes from a lot of different backgrounds. Many of us wear the call letters of PTS, so we've experienced it firsthand, not just being professionally trained.
And for families, I know you also said you support families as well. How do you keep them encouraged as, you know, the symptoms may be coming out, or people may be not wanting help, or people may be feeling like they're not getting enough resources? How do you keep the families encouraged?
The families really need the education because many of them don't understand what's happening within their family units. So providing these resources, these trainings to our family members also helps them better understand what's happening within their families and to their first responder or military loved one, to be able to create better strategies within the home and within the family structure to ensure that there isn't a precipitation of what's going on. You know, the biggest thing that is important when we're talking about these sort of things is to understand that emotional safety is something that isn't discussed enough. And when we're talking about careers that put physical safety in the forefront on a daily basis and require a sideline of our natural responses, our emotional safety, we have to put it to the side and put our lives on the line for others. It becomes a habit, and that habit transfers into the family dynamic. And that's where a lot of family units can break down. So the education of our nervous system is a huge component, and also just talking about some of the signs and symptoms that can occur. That is such a huge benefit and valuable resource for our family members.
Absolutely. Well, tell people how to get in touch with you all in the Code 9 project, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. We would love the public's support. We are a volunteer organization. We're a national nonprofit, thecode9project.org. You can also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Your donations provide the scholarships so that we can go out and provide these important trainings to our first responders and military, as well as responding to those suicides and mass shootings to support our first responders.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Baker, for your expertise and providing us with those resources. Do you have any parting words for our viewers?
Please reach out, whether on duty or off. We have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week hotline. That's 844-HOPE-247. Whether you're on duty or off, there is peer support available to you. You are not alone. There is no reason to be silently suffering.
Thank you so much, Brenda Lee. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
You as well. You be well.
Have a great one. Alrighty, all. That is all we have for right now, but stay tuned. Our meteorologist, Matt Jones, is going to be right back with a little explainer into some detailed weather and how the climate is affecting us and temps in our area. You can always watch more of News 12 Now on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Just click the link. We've got extended interviews just for you. Thanks for watching.